Hey there dreamers, welcome back to Apologue's YouTube channel where we're all about empowering students to better identify their purpose so that they can accelerate their growth and live a more fulfilling life. Now today's topic of this video is how do you determine your specialization? How do you determine what to specialize in? Now I know this is a little different depending on which university you're from. So the best way for me to share with you is through a little story time. So I went to UBC in the Sauder School of Business, and in Sauder, you determine your specialization in your third year, which is, I think, a good time. They give you 2 years to think about things and to figure out what you want to do. So when I first got into Sauder, when I first got into UBC, I just knew that I wanted to do business. And in the beginning, I thought that I was really good at numbers. So when I was in first year, I was, in my head, I was like, there are all these different specialization, marketing, accounting, finance. I'm just gonna take my time and figure it out. And in my first year, I had an orientation leader who was pushing finance onto me. We were pretty close at the time, and he would tell me, hey James, you should go to finance, right? That's where the money is at. That's where all the high paying jobs is at, right? You need to be in finance. Finance is the way to go. Don't do anything else. So in the beginning, as I mentioned, right, I just knew I wanted to be in business, but I had no clue what I wanted to do. So I was just, finance, money, okay, let's do it. So for the longest time, for my entire first year, second year, I was like, okay, finance is the way to go. That's what I'm going to do. But what I realized is, so in Sauder specifically, in first year, you have really general courses. So you take stuff like English and econ and things like that. But in second year in Sauder, there are a lot of intro courses. So second year is like a little appetizer, like a little tasting platter of all these different specializations. So there was intro to marketing, intro to operations, intro to HR, intro to finance. And then what I realized was I hated my finance classes. It's not like I didn't get it, but I just didn't enjoy it. I remember I would go to class and not enjoy it, and remember this whole time in the back of my head I was set on finance, right, because of what my orientation leader had drilled into my brain all this time. So I was thinking about I asked myself, can I do this for the rest of my life? And the answer was no, right? I didn't enjoy it. It just wasn't interesting to me. But what was really interesting was my marketing courses. I thought that was really interesting to see, like a story behind the brand. I thought it was super interesting to, I love talking to people. I love that social interaction. I love that side of things, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed my marketing courses. But the whole time I was just torn, marketing, is that even good for, am I able to get a good job from that, right? Finance is where the job is at, right? Finance is where all the money is at. So this whole time I was just torn. And I remember I sat down with a career advisor at the time, and I read a bunch of stuff online, and to be honest, I don't remember who told me this or if I came up with it myself, but I think a mentor at the time presented this question to me. And that was when everything changed. And what he said was, if you go into finance, because the reason is because the money is there, all that stuff, even if you are not amazing at it, even if you don't enjoy it, what do you think you'll graduate with, in terms of GPA and in terms of how well you do in the course? And the answer there is, I'll probably either be a very average finance student, or maybe even below average because I just don't like it, or I could go with something that I'm more interested in, for example marketing, and graduate with a higher GPA, graduate with a higher average, and graduate with more passion for what I want to do. Who do you think will do better in the long run? And that was when everything shifted, right? Because think about it. Yes, maybe finance, that specialization is where the money is at. Maybe the jobs are generally better. Maybe you generally get a higher salary. But you're not the only finance student. So take, for example, if say I went into finance and student A went to finance and myself, and we both go into finance. The difference is I'm not a fan of finance. I don't like it. I'm not interested in it. But student A is super passionate about it. They love finance. When we graduate and when we go into the job market, who do you think will land a job? Or who do you think will land a better job? It's pretty obvious. Student A is going to land it, right? Because when you go into the interview, you're just a super average finance student, probably even below average. And when you when you do your interview, you're probably not going to speak with that much passion, right? People can probably see right through it. They can see that this person is not really into finance all that much. He just did it for the sake of doing it. Compared to if I went into marketing and I'm really passionate about it, I take on a bunch of side projects, I take on a bunch of passion projects, and when I go into an interview at a higher grade and I get to speak on all these different passions and speak on why I chose marketing and this is what I want to do, I will be able to stand out much more in the marketing world. Does that make sense? So again, at the end of the day, and this is something that I preach all the time on this channel and through Apologue, is to know why you do what you do. And this is the exact question that you need to ask yourself when it comes to choosing your specialization. Why this specialization? And the why needs to be strong. The why needs to really come from within. And it shouldn't be something like, oh, because that's where the job is at, oh, because that's where you get paid more, oh, blah, 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 right? It should come from within. Maybe it's something that you're passionate about. Maybe it's something that you really care about, right? So don't choose your specialization based on what people tell you. Don't choose your specialization based on, what is out there or what is quote unquote better for you or pays you more. I think at the end of the day, if you can choose something that you're truly passionate about and you truly care about, you are in much better position to excel in that specific specialization, and you'll be a much more sought after candidate when you go to find your internships and your jobs. Because I have seen people who took up something that they're not passionate about and they spend a good chunk of their life being miserable. And also, one other thing that I wanted to tell you as well is, say you already chose a specialization and you realize that it's not for you. I want to assure you that it's not too late. A lot of people, especially students, they see this that choice of, when you're choosing a specialization, they see it as this is it, right? If you choose this, that is the rest of your life. And that is not true. I know that as a student, your world is probably very focused on that specialization, and then probably the next thing is finding that first job or that first internship. That is probably your entire world. And let me tell you that it is not the end. You are young, you can always change your mind, you can always change what you want to do in your life. And I'm not just saying this because I want to share with you a story of a friend who was in accounting. He chose accounting for the longest time. He was in accounting up till his final year in UBC. And he realized one summer that, man, I really don't like accounting. I realized that I love investment banking. That is something that I really want to do. So in that summer, he took up a bunch of books. I think he took up a bunch of courses online. And that one summer, he studied his ass off for investment banking. And as soon as he graduated, he went into investment banking, even if his specialization was accounting. So just from that example, it is possible, even if you've already chosen a specialization, to switch. And even if you've already graduated and you realize it's not what you want to do, as long as you can put your head down and you know that you have the confidence, and if you take the courage to take that leap of faith, you will be able to do what you want to do. I've seen it time and time again. Another story as well, before we finish, just popped into my head. I have a friend who did econ for his entire undergrad, and he realized that he actually liked computer science. So what he did was he went for a boot camp. I think it was probably less than a year long. Really put his all in it, and he realized that this is what he's really good at and what he's really passionate about. As soon as that boot camp was over, he got a job as a developer, and now he's doing super well in the States. So again, I know right now, in your point in life, choosing that specialization might seem like the biggest decision you need to make in your life, and it probably doesn't feel all that great, especially if you look around you and everyone seems like they know exactly what they want to do. Trust me, you have time. Be patient. Follow your heart and know why you are doing what you're doing. Now again, none of this is advice. This is just a story, but just wanted to let you know that this is how I chose my specialization. So if it's not obvious enough, I chose marketing, and I did better in it than I know that I would have if I was in finance. And I was able to get a job in marketing really, really quickly because I was able to speak to those passions. I was able to speak to why I chose what I chose. All right. So hopefully you get to choose a specialization that you are really passionate about, that you care about, and I wish you all the best in your future. So once again, Apologue is all about empowering students to better identify your purpose so that you can accelerate your growth and live a more fulfilling life. My name is James. Make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe, check out our programs and our coaching courses, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.